Well, guys, got an update for you. The federal liberals have tabled their new gun law legislation, and it's nothing but bad for firearms owners. Um, it targets the law-abiding firearms owners. We were hoping it wouldn't do that. They were giving the old public spiel about how we're going after gangs and guns in the streets, and no, they're coming after us again. It's we're the scapegoat. We're the only ones that pay attention to laws because we're law-abiding firearms owners. So we're sort of going to have to well, all of us get together really and get a hold of your MPs, because what's happening is the VZ rifles or CZ rifles, the 858s, the Swiss arms, they're going prohib again, and the RCMP will have, well, basically untouched powers. They'll be able to reclassify at will. The legislation will be written so that Parliament and elected officials will not be able to even interfere with it. It'll be the RCMP, the federal police, very much so making law and then enforcing the laws that they make. And we can all imagine how well that's going to play out. Even when Parliament could intervene and the RCMP had to answer to somebody, they still had a very bad tendency to go and reclassify things, making hundreds and thousands of Canadians criminals overnight for paper offenses. So that's not good at all either. On top of that, the with your background checks, it's not going to be 5 years anymore. It's going to stretch over your lifetime, and that includes conditional or absolute discharges. So that's a far-reaching implication for a lot of people. It's some guy who's 50 years old. Let's say he got in a fight when he was 18 and he took a conditional discharge, which is no criminal record. It's just finding of guilt with no record. So it keeps them clean so they don't have a problem getting jobs or anything like that. Well, they could be working for an armored car carrier for the last 30 years. And now retroactively, they may not or will very likely not be eligible to renew their PAL. So it's things like that that are absolutely ridiculous. And it's beyond anybody's control once this actually goes through, if it does. Which brings us back to why we need to contact our MPs. I hear a lot of people going, what good will it do? Well, the Liberal Rural Caucus at this point in time is kind of up in arms. They realize they have a problem because of how far-reaching this is and that they're only going after law-abiding firearms owners. So even if you have a Liberal MP, it is very imperative that you contact them. And it's before this goes through. This has just been tabled, so it still has to go through all its readings still. Furthermore, with the new regulations here, is if you're doing a private sale of a firearm, you will now have to verify the firearms license. Now, if you don't have a firearms license, they look like driver's licenses for the most part. And it's got expiry date, a picture on it, name. And it's just like a driver's license. You can hand it to somebody and they can tell if your driver's license is valid. Well, now you have to call that in to the firearms center. And they are going to very likely maintain a record of who's selling what, although you don't have to tell them what exactly it is you sell. They're just going to know that you're selling a firearm. You don't have to provide them with the serial number of the make. But they still will know every time that you've sold one now, which is the beginning of what I would very much call the start of a backdoor registry. And to follow that up, businesses will now be mandated to maintain the serial number, the make, model of firearm, on record, on paper, for 20 years. And that is accessible by a search warrant. Just trying to see what else we got here real quick. And the other big thing here is the ATTs, they're going to revert. You're going to lose 3 of your automatic conditions on there. So it'll only be valid now to take your firearm to a gun range or to a peace officer for inspection or destruction. And other than that, you'd have to actually attain a short-term ATT. So there's more paperwork for absolutely nothing. No public safety initiatives accomplished there whatsoever. So I just wanted to give you guys a quick update on this. This is all the information that is gathered, and well, I've gathered this from the CCFR, the Canadian Coalition for Firearms Rights. We've got Rod Giltack and Tracy Wilson working for us on the Hill. They're up there today. They're working with all the MPs and doing a lot of work with the media too right now, because I think the general public needs to understand that this doesn't make them any safer. This just arbitrarily goes after law-abiding firearms owners and tries to chip down how many of us can enjoy our sport, our hobbies, and what we do for enjoyment, without hurting or harming anybody else in our communities. So we're going to keep up with this. Follow along too for more immediate information on this, the Canadian Coalition for Firearm Rights has a Facebook group. Get on there and join a line. It's 20,000 plus strong. And also keep an eye on firearmrights.ca. Anyway, guys, we'll keep you updated as well. Team CCFR.